All right, welcome to another patron exclusive live stream where we're here to mahjong all night long. And the one,
Baby.
and there he is. It's Audi Surly, and
Oh, I think
this
they can already see me. This is not a
yes,
edited video.
no, and that big black space in the middle of the screen. That's where we're watching tonight's episode, and we're going to talk about it. And of course, as we did last time, at the very end of this thing, we're going to show the first introduction for the new DF Retro coming out very, very soon. So
Yeah, normally we would reveal this in the direct that comes out early on Saturday, but
special treat.
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You'll get it one day early today. We're excited to share it. I think I've seen some people kind of figure it out, but
Yeah, it should be
nothing
obvious.
has been confirmed.
Exactly, but
We
yes.
might have changed the entire plan from yesterday until today. So no one knows anything.
So yeah, what is this episode number? So today's episode that we're doing the behind the scenes. It's the DF Retro on Super Star Wars. Oh wait,
you went 60.
Hold on. I want to see what's behind the door, John. Which door? I'll show you.
I think it means your video, a window.
There's a window, not a door. I would show you what's outside the door there in the hallway because there's games out there.
Gotta do a house tour one. We will, the day I finally take the time to remodel my entire office, I think we will do a tour of our collections.
Yeah, we could. Maybe if next time you visit, we could actually, if we have two people, we could do a tour of this room.
At least your place, yeah. My collection is a mess at the moment. So, yeah.
All right, so
I haven't even had a haircut lately.
I have. I cut it very short.
I'm rocking like the Jean-Claude Van Damme mullet from Hard Target these days.
I love it. It's sexy.
Oh, all right. Damn. Speaking of sexy, though, episode 60.
Yeah, that's right. This is officially episode 60, but it's also like what, episode 3 of the rebooted DF Retro.
Oh, are we doing two timelines here? Yeah, I suppose so. If we're in a cinematic universe, is this our duo era? Is this the Thanos era of our DF Retro?
It kind of is, very possibly. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start this thing. And
well, did you say what the topic was for people who might not even still have seen it?
All right. So again, this is episode 60, DF Retro on Super Star Wars, the trilogy, and the games that came before it. This was a topic selected by one Audi Surly.
Yes.
And he did the bulk of the writing and sort of research on this one this time. So this was a very heavy Audi-centric sort of episode. And you can tell because there is so much info in this thing. It is amazing. So
it's very similar to my Hardcore Gaming 101 days, isn't it?
It is. I love it. We'll actually, so Peter H., my neighbors, they've been renovating all year.
For years. I think
no joke.
The very first time I visited you years ago, they have been renovating.
Non-stop. There's so much going on. It's crazy. With that said, shall we get started?
Let's do it. And by the way, Peter H., episode 69 would be in 8 episodes.
All right. Nice. All right.
Nice.
So here we go.
So obviously we had to do this. It is contractually obligated for anyone doing Star Wars that we have to do the opening crawl.
I had to do some tricks here to speed it up because normally this comes in late.
Yeah.
On that. So I kind of combined the clips to make it bring this into. Otherwise, the intro part was way too long, I found.
Yeah. Because we're not doing an actual movie.
No.
But this is actually the script you're reading. This was how the script was written.
What was it? There was something about this original line, though, the way it was written, that was a little odd, and I never noticed it. And Richard watched it, and he's like, I don't think the first line makes sense. Can you change that?
Yeah.
And it was like literally just one word I had to adjust, but it was a little bit. I completely missed it, but it's fixed.
I'm very much still someone that needs editors to.
And Rich is a very good editor, by the way. I always trust him with editing my stuff.
I consider myself a very good storyteller, but I still need the fine tunings of a professional editor.
All right, so we got some cool clips of the film in there. Oh yes, there we go.
The Atari
So,
stuff, which
26.
it was very important when we were doing this that we had to get the history of Star Wars games across first, because the culmination of doing these 3 games comes from basically what they've learned before it, and also the fact that LucasArts never really touched those Star Wars games, and here they are doing their own.
Yeah, they were involved in this, exactly, and that's
Yeah.
key.
So when we started the production, we were just kind of like, well, me specifically writing it, I was like, there's going to be a section here where we talk about basically the franchise of Star Wars disappearing. Strangely enough, you imagine that
right.
today, if Star Wars in 2015 just left store shelves, no more licensing, no more merchandise. It's impossible to think in this Disney era. But this was the case in 1987, and so it was very important to establish that, and then hit back with the JVC games and
And
then Super Star Wars.
thinking of establishing, I spent a lot of time tweaking this introduction here,
Yes, it was awesome.
revealing the episode number, because I really wanted that to be just right. That's
and,
one of my favorite parts of editing any of these videos.
And I have to say, in the Thanos era of TF Retro, one really fun thing for us is the synergy we have, where I can write something and you immediately have the idea of how to make what I write look splendid.
Exactly. It works very well.
This has been the case since almost day one for us, that like I write something and you just like, I got it. And it works really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. That's been going super well.
These clips from the actual trilogy are mostly sourced from Harmy's despecialized version, and
Which look amazing.
Yeah, they were until the 4K 76 print scan, which we will watch next time I'm at your place. They were the best way to see the original trilogy in their theatrical cut, so I have those. But the 4K clips, much more grain on them, and also the size, it's like 40 gigs. This, so you have to explain.
So you hadn't seen this. Obviously, you can't really capture a vector arcade game in any way that's meaningful, right?
Yeah.
As far as I know. So we use MAME for this, of course, but MAME does admittedly have this amazing color vector filter.
Yeah.
That I think this looks phenomenal. It's like super high res. It really replicates that feeling of just, like a vector monitor, right? And you hadn't seen that before, right?
No, I think this is my favorite thing of us doing this, was like, how did you do this? Because you showed me this just out of the blue and I couldn't believe it. And I think this is some of the most awesome footage in the entire video. I just love this.
It looks so good. I agree.
So yeah, I love this so much, and it adds so much production value just to see this. And I mean, amazing considering what MAME can do today. I wasn't aware of this. So gotta quickly take care of a question here, which was from where are you? Question. Gormand, what is your favorite retro Star Wars game?
I might go with...
we need a clarification here. Retro, is that up until Super Star Wars? Is it further? Like, where do you drop the retro?
Anything 2000 or older.
2000 older? Oh man, I love Dark Forces.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dark Forces might be my favorite from that era. Jedi Knight is also up there.
Yeah, Jedi Knight
I really like.
Shadow of the Empire, I still maintain is, for its era,
it was good.
An amazing game. And I mean, if it is considered retro, I'd say KOTOR is very high up there. And
yeah, that was really well done.
I really came to love, in many ways, Super Return of the Jedi.
What about this Return of the Jedi?
Don't love this so much, but it is one of the better Star Wars kind of games prior to Super Star Wars.
Yeah, although it does have this annoying like loop problem where you kind of like repeat the stages over and over again. But it's not good.
It's
Ewok Adventure, which was never actually released officially.
No, but just look at that.
it's a piece of not
Yeah,
good.
Dookie. It's a piece of Dookie.
It is.
Dookie.
Oh
So
no.
yeah.
But so yeah, one of the things I tried to color grade these scenes used in the
Oh
background
yeah.
to make
You
it
did
look,
good.
so like I tried my best to green screen myself into the ship here, but it's
Yeah, yeah. It looks good. I mean, this is a pre-haircut, I can tell.
yeah, exactly.
Stuff like this is also very much something that comes in with my involvement. Is all these references to
But which
comic books and things like that.
and this kind of references what you were saying before, where it's like you mentioned this stuff and it's like, oh, how the heck do I show it? So I always have to come up with somewhat visually pleasing ways to show things like this.
Right.
So trying to, use a nice background, zoom stuff in and out correctly, and that kind of stuff.
And Splinter in the Mind's Eye was basically the beginning of the EU, of the expanded universe, and I absolutely love that novel.
That bothered me though, that I couldn't find a clear black version of
Yeah,
the
I
Han Solo
know.
adventures.
We tried.
We tried, but they.
I'm not
Also,
gonna lie.
I forgot the drop shadow on these. I noticed. Dang.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. No one notices. Yeah. Someone says Rebel Assault. I said no one ever. I actually love Rebel Assault. So.
Oh yeah, so this part, that was another thing I had to try to visualize by putting bright, bold outlines around.
It works. I mean,
Luke and Han, it kind of works. It looks good because it's it's like real people, but like contrasting against comic book, and it kind
of. Well, the Luke one is a statue.
Yeah, I know, but it's like, yes, but it looks good.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like not drawn. Basically, it's not like comic book.
I think adding the Indiana Jones nod there might possibly mean we might do something with Indiana Jones in the future.
That could be good. But there's another Spielberg related thing that I have more interest in doing first.
Oh, you know absolutely. And we will. Yeah, Monkey. So this was also, of course, essential is to get over the history of LucasArts and their non-Star Wars outings.
Yeah, they did a lot with graphic adventure stuff.
Yeah, and what was it called, Master Blaster or Ball Blazer? I think it's called
Ball Blazer. Yeah,
yeah. That's Chris Hulsbeck's favorite game from LucasArts.
Wow,
and he got to work on it.
That's so cool. So wait, episode 2 then. I think this is your episode.
Yes.
So this was an example of one where you did a like sort of you recorded your voiceover and did a rough edit, and then you send it over, and then I kind of integrate it back into the main thing.
Yeah, this is what we do. It makes it easier for us. But you can see here that I integrate some Star Wars fonts and whatnot.
I like that, by the way. That was very good, actually.
Yeah. But this is fun. This is really fun because I got to, first of all, I got to talk to an old friend who wrote the book that we reference later. But also I got to play some Pac-Land, which is one of my favorite games. And we get to talk about this game. Which, of course, is the legendary Namco Star Wars game.
With Sasori Vader.
And everything else, which is even weirder than Sasori. But it's an interesting game. It's not good.
Ore-sama wa Sasori Vader. Oh, you did the voice. I loved that.
Yes, and we filtered it up. But yeah, what was shocking to me was something I hadn't realized until I did research for this episode, was that it is essentially an expanded Alex Kidd game. When this was mentioned to me originally, I was like, what? No, it's not. But then we do a comparison soon. And, we have an interview with the creator, Yoshihiro Kishimoto, and he confirms it, that, like, yeah, this Alex Kidd game, basically, which,
yeah.
It's an interesting take on Star Wars. I love it, just to play it. But there are aspects of this I do think are genuinely great, like these cockpit scenes are very impressive.
There's the Alex Kidd thing.
Yeah, and you can see
Look
here.
at that.
And I worked very hard on making sure that these comparisons would be very similar to each other.
You did a good job. Those actually
Yeah,
fit perfectly.
yeah.
But yes,
So
yes, Revenant, Darth Vader did turn into a scorpion thing, and
he
that's
did.
what the word Sasori means. It's scorpion.
Yep.
So, yes. And that's one of the things this game is legendary for, of course.
Yeah, because
Transforming Vader.
yeah, I think this game got some, from what's it called, like fame or
Yep. Oh, those are your
notoriety,
copies. Man,
because it was on the AVGN show, and I've never seen the episode, but I do think he points out the Scorpion thing, obviously.
of course.
I
So
did have to mention this. Every time we talk about Star Wars with Mr. Mark Duddleson from My Life in Gaming, he cannot help himself but mention that this game has the filled black lettering, which is also in the
oh
movies.
yeah.
Whereas all the other games uses
It's
transparent lettering,
transparent.
which is not correct. I've heard this from Mark, aka Triforce, probably 6-7 times, and I had to make sure that it was in the video, or
He's
else I
really
knew he would be
he's so
like,
hung up on that. I love it.
you didn't mention the whole thing about the letters. And it's like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. This is my cartridge, by the way.
Oh yeah, and this one, the
Yes,
JVC.
which does not have filled letters. Just look at that. Just turn
Transparent
the game
letters.
off.
Tisk
But
tisk.
I do enjoy also us repeating, getting the Star Wars introduction on each of these games just to showcase how all these people do it. This introduction sequence, by the way, is mighty impressive for the NES.
I agree. This is
Mighty
pretty
impressive.
effective. Yeah.
It is actually better than the one that's in Super Star Wars, because the Super Star Wars one reverses the aspects. So the Rebel ship looks much bigger than the Star Destroyer, which
Yep.
is the entire point of the scene. So they ruined it.
Yep,
But
yep.
that's fine. Now, the first actual look at Super Star Wars.
Yeah, these games are these original NES games are fascinating. They're not bad, but they're really frustrating.
Call back to the first video I ever edited for
Oh yeah,
Usagi.
that's right. Usagi Yojimbo.
That was the very first one I ever did for DF.
That's right.
I think aesthetically and musically, this Star Wars game is awesome. I think it has some really cool tunes from Star Wars. I think a lot of these graphics they're really dirty. They're really like gritty, and it fits Star Wars really well.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this maze design gets on your nerves, and it is one of the most difficult games I've ever had to beat. And I did beat it. But and then this section,
oh yeah,
man, I wish sometimes I record myself capturing this footage,
your voice,
and then like an X-rated behind the scenes on Patreon. But yeah,
I would totally be into that.
Man, I always thought these caves were scary as a kid. I really hated the bugs, and I don't like, the enemies trigger when you get near them, or else they just stare at you. It's really uncomfortable. But man, these portraits, just look at how detailed and beautiful they are.
They are, yeah. They did. I love their color usage in this, actually.
The cantina is weird, though. I'm not sure what they did there, but
I remember seeing that so often in Nintendo Power. That picture, they showed that a lot whenever this game was referenced.
Chewie does not appear in this game, other than that one text that we showed off.
That's right. Yeah.
Ah, yes. The Yoda dance.
So Jordan, oh yeah, this part.
Rich was very happy about that.
This music is really good.
It's awesome. Jordan, HJ, do you typically try and beat games for these videos, or just use cheats to skip around? It depends on the game. Depends on the time in the game.
I mean, usually before we do an episode, I do try to sit down and play through the main games.
Yeah.
As much as possible. But it does depend a lot on what the game is, for sure, because, if it's too long, or, it depends on the time we have.
Yeah.
It kind of varies.
In this case, I beat all the games. Uh,
That's pretty good.
yeah. Super Empire, I used cheats. I had to use cheats
The
and
only one I
passwords.
was able to get through actually was the first Super Star Wars.
Yeah.
I did play a lot of that, and I managed to get through it, but it took a while. But then, oof, Empire Strikes Back. My goodness, that
I wish I
absolutely.
had the DOS version. Obviously, you need
Hmm.
your retro computer for that, or else I would have beaten that. So we have more footage of the later
Yeah,
stages, but it just because of COVID and whatnot, it's not feasible at this time. But maybe one day we'll do like a Redux or something where we add in some more footage.
exactly. That DOS version's really good.
Yeah, it's
Oh yeah,
awesome. I'd never been able to play it, so probably most exciting part of the video.
yeah. It. We were shocked when we. Well, we'll talk about when we get there, but
Yeah.
let's just say I don't think we realized just the extent to which it was different.
I was very
Oh yeah, this
frustrated
part.
when I talked about this. It's showing
Gosh.
you all the way you die.
Oh yeah, I filmed that, and
You
it's
got
this is
to,
not
yeah, yeah.
the
This
Game Gear.
also surprised me. The differences here.
Oh yeah, look at that. And
Yeah,
then NES versus. I kind of like the Master System palette there. It's just a shame this version isn't great.
yeah. It just doesn't play great.
Yeah, it does not. Yeah,
And
I
there's a reason for that.
it's a tier text.
And you can hear it in my voice if you watch the video that I'm not fond of tier text games.
No, pretty much anything they touch is usually bad.
Yeah, they still around.
Oh my gosh, look at this. This looks
These
ridiculous. It's like Leia the Hedgehog here.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
like blasting through those levels at high speed.
I got actually dizzy playing the latest stages because the camera follows her.
It's too tight.
It's too tight, yeah. So I was like, man, I'm getting like motion sickness from a Game Gear game.
It's
So
completely insane. This looks
these,
ridiculous. It's like Leia the Hedgehog here.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
like
those
blasting through those
amazing. The
levels at
Death
high
Star
speed.
stages really they pushed me to the limit of my patience. This section too, by the way, with the TIE fighters, really took me a long time.
Oh man. I just briefly looked at what the stream was like on YouTube, and it was playing our sound, and so I was hearing you talk while you were talking.
Oh,
If you know what I mean, it's confusing.
double up. Serious question. Did this use any add-on chips for the NES? No. Only two games in the US used add-on chips for the NES.
Oh, I assume he's talking about mappers.
Yeah, no, add-on
Which
chips wouldn't be mappers.
no, I don't know. Actually, you should clarify, Revenant. Are you talking about mappers? Or are you talking about special chips? Because those were very rare in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. Only two games, I believe, used that.
Yeah, Batman: Return of the Joker or Revenge of the
Yes,
Joker.
that's one of
Yeah,
them. They use the Sunsoft
yeah,
expansion thingy. I forget what the other one is,
yeah. I
but
can't remember.
I think it's a high-tech game.
Very
So
possibly.
this is also kind of cool. Those Hoff stages on NES.
Yeah.
Hoff stages in general. I don't think you can do them wrong. I
No,
think
they're
it's,
always impressive.
but that was like a callback to the Atari game, which I didn't realize until I literally was sitting down to kind of edit this, and I was like, wait, this is the same game, and so it was a fun
So
expansion. Yeah,
that would include mappers then, I think, because
yeah. So it uses Mapper 3, I believe.
yeah. But nothing more than that. So
This game though,
the
um,
jumping is insane. Look at
yeah,
this.
just look at this flea. It's like Christmas Crisis on
It
a
is like
CDI.
Christmas Crisis. My goodness, man, he jumps like a flea.
Jumps like a flea. Yeah. So, and
Oh,
I really had
hey,
a
it's
tough time
Peter.
with this too.
It's Peter Pan.
Yes, it's the hook game we all wanted on the NES, rather than the one we got. Oh
See
yeah,
that?
these
Oh
drops.
yeah, that. Oh man,
Just look at this though. Like,
this is. Wow, these games. These were wild, actually.
yeah, this one is really weird. Deviates a lot. Like you can see here now, you're saving Han Solo, which is like, well, what would the first part of Return of the Jedi be then? That was a Star Wars joke there, by the way, that I used defeated handedly.
And it's kind of interesting to look at this, and this episode really isn't just Super Star Wars, as we can see.
Yeah,
There's a lot more to it.
yeah. We're like 20 minutes in. We haven't even talked about Super Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. It is 20 minutes in, pretty much. So no Super Star Wars yet. Oh, I love that
Oh man,
image of Yoda.
that Yoda picture.
That's oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Fade out
Then we
to the
cut back
next
to you.
Super Star Wars.
And
Here
obviously we
go.
used episodes because of the Star Wars connection. This
That's
is
right.
also something I care a lot about is the San trilogy. Uh, so
Right.
or San trilogy, Thrawn trilogy, written by Timothy Zahn. I really wanted
Aha.
to mention that, and I did. I don't
Oh,
think you've read those.
no, I have not.
That was the original kind of follow up back then, and alongside these games was the reason why Star Wars resurged.
Hmm. Okay. Now we're starting to see some footage of Superstore. This part always was a little bit weird, isn't it? Where it's like they're like bouncing around. And there's like weird floating chairs.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah,
So
that's
now the
completely
rebel ship
wrong.
is bigger.
I know what they're trying to do, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. This was also
Kalani's
interesting
TIE
to
truck.
discover was the fact that the actual developers were in the NES game. So we had a picture of them.
That's right. Oh, that does look cool.
Yeah,
Still,
it
the way that
looks
they did a lot of weird trickery with Mode 7. That's uncommon.
yeah. And just this was when did this come out again? It was 92, right? Or was
Yeah, it was the
93?
second Christmas for
Yeah.
Super NES, so it would have been 92.
So we hadn't really seen much outside of like Pilot Wings and F-Zero. And then this kind of game comes around and you're just like, oh, all right, this is pretty photorealistic for its era and does all this trickery, which is why we wanted to cover these games because they're basically like, incredible showpieces for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, they really are. It's quite a sight to see. Oh yeah, that thing.
You like that boss. You
The
have like a fascination
Jawanko.
about it.
Um, why do I? I don't know. There's
I'm
something
not
about
sure.
I like the Jawanko.
But it kept coming up in production. You kept
I
sending me
know.
pictures and stuff of it. It's like, because
Cuz
I think you had a fascination for the whole sandcrawler
yeah.
stages. I mean, they're
Yeah,
just
yeah.
really interesting laid out. You climb it and then you go inside it.
Oh, I love the Sandcrawler stage. I think it's
Yeah.
really neat. That's a cool idea. Then you
Is
get
it?
your lightsaber.
Yeah, which that sound, man.
Ooh. I love the expression. Like if you look at Luke's sprite, if he looks at, I'm not gonna do it here, but when he looks at the camera, his expression is just
Yes.
fantastic. There's like 3 little dots for his eyes and mouth. It's fantastic. Gosh, though, this game has so much slowdown, and that's really that's such a shame. I feel like that's the one issue I always
Yeah.
have with it. It's just there's so much slowdown.
Yeah, we'll get to that later too, though. There is
Yeah.
some interesting tidbits about that. But
Should
I saw a
we?
question from Angry Ghost. Is it off base to say that SNES entries give off a real Factor 5 Turrican energy? Absolutely not, because in the
Yeah.
interview, Kalani Streicher mentioned specifically Turrican was one of the main inspirations for Super Star Wars.
Yeah, you can definitely feel that Turrican
Yeah.
influence.
And
And
then,
then
of
the
course, Factor
fact
5
that
goes on to do it.
they do Star Wars. So and then they also made that Indiana Jones game, which is kind
Yeah.
of like this.
Yep.
So
Gormand, was Star Wars Trilogy Arcade on any home console at the time? No.
it's never been ported.
Nope.
I can see why. It's a very short game. It's
Yeah.
super designed for the arcade, but it is a cool looking thing.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
awesome too, by the way.
I love that he's in there.
Yeah.
The boss monster.
Kalar.
That boss monster was actually a little. He it felt like a fight to the death every time because my life bar would always be very low when I finished him,
Yeah.
and it's like you're just jamming on it trying to avoid
Most of
enough
the
shots.
bosses in this game, though.
They're pretty cheap.
But man, the Super Empire, even more so. I love this trick, by the way, with the background layer moving,
Yeah.
being a sandcrawler, and just the scope of this. I mean, you get the sense you're really climbing a huge
Ugh.
vehicle.
Yeah, it's super impressive. That part here as well, when all the TIE fighters are flying by, like they're
Yeah, yeah, and you're
huge. They fill the
jumping over
screen.
them.
It's very, very cool.
These the spider like robots there, they're very similar to what would show up in episode 1 later on. So
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
definitely some early designs there. All the designs were either from sketches or approved by Lucasfilm. So
But yeah, here we go. Yeah, man, the graphic design in these games though, I do really love. It does have that classic LucasArts look, like one
yeah,
of their adventure games, but as a platformer.
yeah, that just gets better and better too as
Yeah, but
we
the third game, my goodness, it
yeah.
looks incredible.
I
And
hadn't really played the free game much. I had this and Super Empire as a kid, but I never bought Super Return. So this was kind of my first time really. I've played it via emulation over time, but this is the first time I finished it, and I really loved it. So
all right, yeah, this area is great looking.
yeah, all these layers, parallax layers here. Gotta love that. Super Nintendo was good for that though.
Yeah, it was definitely good for that.
Though I do generally prefer Mega Drive Parallax when that's done right, just
With
because
the
of the
line
speed.
scrolling.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean you can do that in Super NES, but it was a lot less common for some reason. I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure why. What I'm doing there, by the way, is actually a trick. If you shoot 100 of those green ones behind the first rock, you find them in the first stage. You get power ups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
so that's why all my capture when you got it had like a section where I was just shooting those green beasts for like 5 minutes.
Right, right. Man, I did that sand speeder section so many times
Yeah,
in
yeah,
different versions and iterations. The TIE fighter part is very, very good. That's super cool looking.
yeah,
It replicates the battle that would appear in Rogue Squadron 2 pretty
yeah, yeah.
effectively.
I mean, people, yeah, as with any DF retro, you really have to put yourself back in the mindset of
Hmm.
when we're talking about. So, like 92, 93 here. And imagine as a kid being able to control X Wing in what you perceive to be 3D on top of the Death Star was, a huge, huge accomplishment. And I mean, similar to the arcade game, right? But
Yep,
now on home console.
exactly. Hmm. Yeah, this the Super NES definitely needed a faster main CPU. That's why the SA1 hacks are so good because
Yeah,
it's basically
do you
augmenting
remember the
the. It's like
stock speed?
it was like a Rico 3.54 or so. I actually forget the exact frequency right now.
Okay.
Or 4, maybe 4 something megahertz as well. I'm blanking on it, but um it was enough for most games, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
mean,
not
but
the slowdown wasn't always due to that though. Like I know Super Ghouls and Ghosts the slowdown wasn't really caused by the CPU. It was just bad programming.
yeah, because there is a hack that removes it. That's not SA1. It's
That's right.
just optimization.
There it is, 3.52 megahertz. That's it.
All right, all right.
I knew it had a point 0.5 in there in the middle.
Oh, this section, man. An auto-scrolling jumping section to this game with that
Yeah.
delay. I think you're pointing out the delay, right?
Yeah, with the jump.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. He crouches down and then springs up, and it's just
yeah,
enough of a delay that it makes it more difficult to calculate your jumps. Oh yeah. Animation priority.
yeah. The Comic Sans font.
I thought that was fitting.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Han's pose when he fires his weapon. Okay, wait, it's the 3.58 megahertz. Okay.
Oh, all right, all right.
Oh yeah.
SA1 hack for this game would be great. I absolutely agree. But we will discover later in the video that,
There's a solution.
yeah, two.
Man,
Considering.
look at that frame rate graph. It just topples down. And then it's like as
Yeah.
soon as you get here, it's like whoa. And yeah, these parts. It's actually a little weird because Mode 7 stuff was usually 60 frames per second.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is costing it here? I really wouldn't know.
They must be doing something else with the sprites, and I don't know what they're doing. There's definitely something weird with their Mode 7 implementation. But
Yeah.
they're also doing those extra line hacks to give it like terrain height and stuff in the
Right.
different modes. So it could be related to whatever they're doing there. But yeah, you and yeah, this part was we were just talking about this. The way they the curvature on the Death Star there is
Yeah.
very neat.
Got some more Harmy despecialized content here.
I love seeing that again.
Yeah. Yeah, we have many ways of seeing their theatrical cuts now. Oh yeah, this was also interesting. The fact that there is cut stages. Oh yes.
Oh boy. Another oh, I can see the dirt on the reset button. Dang it.
Oh yeah, I can't ever see that, but every time you
It's,
point it out, I did mention. It's hard to imagine that games like Shadows of the Empire weren't that many years later from the same people.
yeah, that is pretty incredible to think.
Ah, yes, this is man. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty, and I love this. I love this so much.
Oh yeah, this is the Sega Genesis version.
Yeah,
I'm saying Genesis because it was US developed, I think, this
yeah.
prototype.
Was
So
it Sega Interactive or something?
yeah, it was STI, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ozone Nightmares here.
Good to see you, my friend. Good to see all of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Polyester Pimp also came in a little bit ago.
Gotta love it. That's when we know the party has started.
Party has started.
Yeah, there's many things here that like, well, obviously the colors and whatnot way worse. And I mean, this is an early prototype. You can definitely tell this is just a concept to show, hey, we can do this, and it
Yeah,
never went anywhere.
It's very rough. I'm positive they could have done a much better job with it.
I like the fact that the score THX.
Yeah, what a wild film that is. There was a lot.
We mentioned the Sega CD idea, I think, but I mean, this would have been an interesting Sega CD game.
It would have been. I think I agree. So, Ozone Nightmare asked John and Audie, "What's the worst alteration to the original movies for both of you?" I'll tell you what the worst one is.
I think I know.
In Demolition Man, when they released it in Europe, they changed all the Taco Bells to Pizza Huts.
No, that's the best one. He's talking about Star Wars. That's not a Star Wars movie.
He didn't say. Oh, to the original. Okay, I thought you were talking about movies in general. Okay,
how dare you?
Then I'm going
always been
with
Pizza Hut.
No, so I will die on this hill, but I would have to go with Return of the Jedi. That awful song. It was like Jedi Rocks or whatever it is. Remember
that? Are you talking about the changed out not Baba Yaru?
Yeah, the other song,
Yub Yub or whatever.
Yeah, Yub Nub or whatever.
Yub Nub, yeah. So you like that? You like that original one? Because I actually like the new John Williams orchestral outro.
Oh no, it's in Jabba's palace. It's the band.
Oh, you mean the section they added? Yeah, where they added the song.
Yeah, that's the song. That's Jedi Rocks, I think, is that song. And I hate that part so much. It is. Oh, I can barely watch that. It's really, really bad.
So my relationship to like the special editions a little bit changes. I'm not as I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't get annoyed so much.
No,
probably because I had the VHSs. So
yeah.
And then I got the DVDs with the bad laser print transfers. But I think the worst changes for me have been the later ones where they added like rocks in front of R2D2 when he hides. So it's like
that's real
nonsensical. Bad. And then Vader yelling no, like taken out of the Revenge of the Sith movie, stuff like that. So yeah, those changes annoy me because it's just like why. Whereas of course that song And especially, yeah, the one you mentioned, it's bad, but it doesn't like detract too much. I just generally fast
True.
forward.
I don't mind the special editions. I actually think that Empire Strikes Back is probably the least affected by it too. Most of the
Yeah, and
changes
helped the most by
are
the
pretty good.
changes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So I actually think that one turned out really well.
yeah,
And some of the new like space shots and A New Hope I think look pretty good as well.
yeah.
Um, so you know, it is interesting. I like that they exist. I think that's cool.
Um, I like the concept of them when they happened, but I do think that there's some questions about preservation that needs to be.
That's the issue, right? Is that
Yeah,
the originals weren't really preserved.
but we're not a red letter medium, so let's get back to Super Star Wars.
And
Uh, this is the big one.
yeah, this PC version. My goodness, look at this. They really went all out. So that's Super NES again. But the actual PC version was, there's so much work that went into it that when I first tried it a while ago, I didn't actually realize just how different it was.
Right.
But like they redid everything.
I
Like
was
all the
very
graphics are
excited
new.
for this, and I told you, like, man, I can't wait to see this because I've always read about this. I've seen the screenshots, but it never ran on any PC I had. And today, I don't think you can run it on any modern system, at least not properly.
So as you can see, the one thing is that it is presented in sort of a letterbox format for some
Yeah,
reason. It looks like that on the monitor as well. So I put the black bars there to indicate that that's just how it is.
yeah.
It looks
But this
great there,
looks
doesn't it?
amazing, and I couldn't be happier with this. Like, I felt like this was going to be one of the kind of big things for this episode is there's really no footage of this proper. There are like some DOSBox whatnots, and some inconsistencies are in that footage, but this was going to be like straight up, someone playing it on the hardware of the time, proper playthrough. To a certain extent,
Exactly.
we didn't get very far, but
Yeah, of course I did play this on my actual MS-DOS PC.
yeah,
And this is just highlighting how even other platformers from that era ran like this.
yeah.
Jazz Jacker was one of the few exceptions.
This also makes me motion sick. Duke
Duke,
Nukem.
Duke Nukem 2, Zwei. Duke Nukem 2.
What is
Hocus
this game?
Pocus. It's Hocus Pocus.
All right.
I had that as a kid. I kind of liked it, but I always knew it. I was like, well, this doesn't run like a console game, but it was still cool to play a platformer on my PC at the time.
I remember that was a big deal for my friends who were PC people back in school. Was like having console games on PC was a huge deal to them, and they, for me, they were always like, just Jackrabbit was probably the one that impressed me the most. But this
Yeah,
impressed me even more, looking how fluid this is on PC.
yeah, it's really smooth.
Yeah,
I was having issues controlling it though, like it bobbing around because the controls are a little bit weirdly mapped.
yeah,
I think that could have been tweaked a little, but it was still playable.
yeah. So this was developed by the Danish team. I think that's what you're talking about now.
Yep.
Or talking about the later stages. But I mean, this is from the same Danish team that I believe did the Turrican 2 conversion to DOS, and then eventually would do her from Gem, which are
That's
very
right.
good conversions for PC.
I agree. MS DOS. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen this version revived and
Yeah.
released officially.
Oh,
That's right. They changed the levels a lot here. Like on Super
Yes.
NES, you could just cheese this boss, but then we discovered like, hey, on PC, it's way more aggressive.
And look at that design. I mean,
The Jawanko.
yeah. And Jawenko, this was the first time we had seen it, but it actually does appear in the EU eventually.
That's a really. I'm not sure what to think about that. That's a very big change.
Yeah, this is more like a Turrican boss.
I was gonna say, I think the Super NES one looks a little more authentic, but
yeah.
So it is interesting to see the different styles, but
Yeah, I love this graphic style though. It brings me right back to like 94 PC. And I wonder, like, I don't know. Has
oh wait, I should turn that up. And this is the PC version using a Roland Sound Canvas SC55 with the game configured to the Roland GS set. This part was cool. That's right here on my desk.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
Yeah, it does as well. I see you trying to.
And just for good measure, this is how it
but yeah, I
sounds
was gonna
using the
say,
FM
I don't
synth
know,
playback
has
option
limited
played
run
through a
done
Sound
Super
Blaster
Star Wars?
AW64. I don't think so.
Because this would be something where, this should be revived if the code still exists. Finish it up, because there are some bugs, especially with the sound. And
yeah, this would be that would be an amazing revival project, I think. Because yeah, that I'd always wanted that version with CD audio as well.
Yeah,
if
imagine.
Take that, port it over to a new platform, put in like CD quality music, and it's just like you'd have like the definitive version.
Yep.
By far. So, the
Bantha
part.
I keep using the plasma blaster here because like it's really strong.
Look. This is that PS4 version.
Yeah, and this was interesting, wasn't it? Because I had this, I'd never played it because I assumed it was just emulated version. It is not. And unfortunately, I contacted the developer of this and asked if we could talk to them about just how was this done. They replied to us the day after we had put out the video on Patreon. But we were stunned because they explained to us that no, they had the original source code and they ported it to PS Vita and PS4, which is why they can do all this stuff here in the options menu. So
yeah, exactly.
And as you mentioned here somewhere, it actually doesn't have much slowdown. I think it has some, which
mostly
I guess
not. Yeah, it's nearly perfect.
I think in a follow-up email they said that was tied to the game logic, the slowdowns that were still there. So I'm not
game logic issues.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
Yeah, because it would make sense for the PS4 to have any slowdown if this is a directly ported source. But amazing, right? And why isn't this done more often? If and for this by the way, this was actually not released on the store. I think this is only a code given out with pre-orders or something like this. So
I think you can buy it now.
You can buy it now? Because it wasn't when I got it via a friend in the press. But at that time, it was only given out. Oh, yeah, this.
X-Wing. Oh, yeah, I had to mention that.
Yeah.
Because this was, between these two games, X-Wing was being developed, which was a huge deal.
Yeah, because this is LucasArts for the very first time doing their very own thing.
This is my version of X-Wing Collector's CD-ROM that I pulled out to capture.
It's a little bit newer. Has some updates.
It's a slightly updated version. Oh, yeah, there's Rebel Assault.
Which we are both huge fans of.
It turns out the 3DO version is really good.
Yeah, it's very good. And, of course, Factor 5 did the port to PlayStation.
Oh, Rebel Assault 2. Which is really quite a good port and an interesting port.
Yeah, because they did a lot of enhancements to it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
You changed the background.
I did. Notice that? Uh-huh. Now I'm in there.
That's your card.
That is. Oh man, this game. There's a lot of good stuff in here visually and concept wise.
Yeah.
And some parts are good, but there's a lot of
This part is good.
This part was this whole section of doing that and then going up inside and everything like that. That was pretty neat. Think you can get it inside mine?
Is that Scottie Pippen?
No, that's from the Sega Saturn golf game.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
What's his name? I'm forgetting his name, but yeah.
Fred Masters or something?
No. That's Fred Couples is the 32X one.
Yeah. Sorry, we're not golfing people. A question here. or not a question, a comment. Angry Ghost says that makes me wonder what other LucasArts source codes might be laying around. Let me tell you, and we will have an interview regarding this soon with Wilbert Roger, who was one of the in-house LucasArts audio engineers. LucasArts kept most of their source codes, and they were very good because LucasArts generally were very protective. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we'll have Wilbert on to talk about his time working on Star Wars, Monkey Island, and he did a lot of stuff at LucasArts. So you'll get an inside scoop at the last days of LucasArts with him.
Wait,
He's also
when's that happening?
anytime we want it. I talked to him yesterday actually. So
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's exciting.
and he's an amazing person outside of just his work. So we've been excited to talk to him. And I've
We got to
known him.
make that. We got to make that happen soon. That would be great.
Yeah, I've known him since he was 19, believe it or not.
What? Really?
Yeah, I've known each other
Wow.
for almost 2 decades now.
All right then. This could be. Oh, look at
Ah,
that.
yes.
Spinning lariato.
Lariato! This is a wrestling reference.
Yes.
In Japanese commentators in wrestling, when Stan Hansen or Kenta Kobashi did a lariat, it was like, Lariato! And they would go crazy. So I made John do it.
Do you think we need to do the definitive battle chess retrospective?
Yes.
What if we like actually filmed ourselves in person, like and like with an asymmetric angle using the camera, and like
I would love it.
we could like loop ourselves, like doing like idle animations.
I'm totally into this. If we ever do a Bram Stoker's Dracula episode, we also have to make ourselves playable characters in the Sega CD
man,
game.
I'm into this. I could pixelate our filmed footage and woof. That
Great
boss
idea.
is very, very screen filling, but very
yeah, but
long.
these
The bosses suck.
The reason why we're talking about everything but this game is that neither you or I like this game. We came to realize, and it's just too it's too difficult. The focus on boss, it's very boss heavy. It's like a boss roulette, basically. They're not fun. So
I agree.
Stages are too long for what it is. But this is fun. I mean, just look at this. Did we figure out how they are doing the elevation here? Because this is mode 7.
I still don't entirely know. I did confirm that this is definitely mode 7.
Yeah.
They're probably doing some kind of like weird scanline update trick, similar to like Road Rash, but like performing it on a mode 7 background. Maybe I don't know.
Insane.
Like, I really don't understand it. It's because it's not something that I don't really feel like we've seen this in other games. Like I can't remember this in other mode 7 games.
And you look at this, and then you think of like Shadows of the Empire, which a lot of the same team would go on to do. And it's like, man, it's the same stage. You're doing the same stuff, but on the Super Nintendo.
And this one where you go up and down above the clouds.
Yeah, it's really cool too.
That's amazing. Digital Foundry's Bram Stoker's.
Yes. I would love to do that episode just because of how many games they made for that game thing. Or Dracula episode, I guess. Maybe for Halloween we'll do that. Then off-road, Baja. You're talking about the Super Off-Road.
Oh, the Baja.
Yeah.
Actually, I need to look into that and see if it did. Oh yeah, the manual. Some of the levels.
Yeah, there was one level that was missing, and it's in the manual. This also, like the force thing, you never use it.
No, the force powers suck in this. It's so useless.
Some comments told me that, like, no, I used it, and I tried to respond to them. It's like, was it useful? None of them said it was useful. It's just they used it. I mean, there was that Jedi mind trick, which we both like. We could not make that work.
I don't understand, and that's I don't know that I found that part annoying.
Yeah.
The background art here, though, I like.
Oh yeah. Nothing to say about the graphics. The graphics are amazing.
The game looked great throughout. There's no doubt about that.
There's some of the bosses that look like that first Wampa that it's only his like upper body.
Also, this part, it's not like it's a little like I don't like this part at all. It's just annoying.
Yeah, there's too much in the foreground, and it's just too muddy. Like,
This section is very cool looking though, and I wish these fights weren't so darn difficult because there's
yeah,
a lot of good ideas, and it's just not that fun because of that.
yeah. There are a few Angry Ghosts. There are a few SNES games that do pretty convincing hills and such with Mode 7.
Oh,
It's
okay.
varying degree of success and performance. I think Speed Racer is one of them, right? I think that's another
Oh
like
yeah.
uh, example of that. And Baja and probably some others. So yeah, maybe we have thought of like a Super FX episode at some point, but maybe a Mode 7 showcase for Patreon or something would be fun.
I don't think we would just do that for Patreon. I think if we did a Mode 7 showcase, people would be into that, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I want to do another episode along the lines of that water episode.
Oh
Remember
yes,
that?
love
We
it.
gotta come up with which effect we're gonna target next.
Yes, like a retro tech focus.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like what you know what effect did parallax Mode 7. Um, yeah,
Yeah, man. This part. Oof, there was a lot to say, but this was a pretty disappointing release.
yeah, and none of us had much fun playing this game, and we were constantly kind of talking about it's like, man, this is a drag. It's just we wanted it to be good, and it just never really amounts to much. Man, the Hoff snow speeder stages after you do, or is it before? I forget. But there's like a side-scrolling part
Yeah,
to an auto scroller or shooter rather.
yeah.
It's impossible. Like
It sucks.
it's awful. So the coding secrets did a good episode how they faked Mode 7 on the Genesis. All right.
Is it
Yeah.
John Burton again? The Traveler's Tales fellow?
Oh, is that who it is? Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did a lot. Traveler's Tales did some insane stuff on
Yeah,
the Mega Drive. So,
yeah.
oh yeah,
Destructible environments.
we
We already
made it.
talked about Crusader.
And Crisis.
Yes.
We've said a lot about Crisis. Here we go. Okay. So Super Return of the Jedi was the surprise of the episode for me because it's the one I knew the least about.
Same with
And
me.
it turned out to be like really pretty awesome. Like it still has its flaws, but oh yeah,
Jeff
here we go.
Crosno.
Jeff Crosno. The
Gotta
force
give
will
it.
be with you always, Jeff.
Where is Jeff today?
I'd
He
love
has
to know
not
that.
reached out to us after we did this episode, but it will come out publicly on Sunday. So
Here we go. Yeah, this is the one. This game is awesome looking too. There's a lot of
yes.
amazing. They really did a good job with the visuals in this one.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, I really enjoy playing this. It's not perfect though. Let's just say.
No. And look,
Far
they
from
they
it.
finally did this.
Yeah.
Where they use like a Mode 7 style effect to scale the ship and give that perspective.
Yeah, which is awesome. And look at these graphics. I mean,
The
you were
quality,
saying
yeah.
LucasArts adventure game quality, but this straight up, you can put these graphics in like a point and click.
Yeah,
PC
it's
game.
only their repetitive nature due to the fact that it's a platformer that makes
Yeah.
it wouldn't work, but like the quality is up there. It's super impressive.
Ugh.
Wicked. Okay,
Yeah.
that part.
I don't hate Ewoks or anything, but I hate playing as them. But
Yeah.
this is awesome too when you're on the sand what are those called again?
What are those? Yeah.
This boss, which is just a Humba Shumpa thing from the beginning of Return of the Jedi. They made it into a boss.
Oh, this part. I love this part. Like
Yeah,
visually,
yeah,
this
yeah.
part was so good. Oh my gosh.
All
Yeah.
the backgrounds in this look absolutely amazing.
They have
You get to
extra
the
layers to.
Rancor eventually, and it's like huge. Um, you got to play as
Look at
Leia in the bikini.
the background there is awesome too.
Yep, lots of layers.
And look at this. The way they did this Mode 7 here at the beginning, it's
Yep,
another it's very cool. And that
really.
this part
This
though,
though,
like I see what they're trying to do, but it's terrible. I hate
it's
that part.
bad. It's really bad. But man, this Rancor, I
Look
was
at
so
that.
into this. The boss battles in this game, though, much better
Yeah,
than Empire. But look at
they
the
can.
background here too, with the satellite and everything.
It's genuinely
Could
beautiful.
make
The
could make
pixel
it a
art in this is so awesome.
yeah, could make this a poster with the Death
I
Star in the
know.
back and everything. This is
I
probably
know.
the worst background.
Yeah, that's the worst one. But for these really big areas, they kind of keep the backgrounds still,
Yeah.
which kind of gives you that. Oh, look who's in the chat.
Oh, it is My Life in Gaming. I'm guessing it's Try.
Yes,
Jabba's Sail Barge, that's what it's called. And yes, Try, I did mention that the letters are filled on the Famicom game.
and this part looks good too.
Yes, this part looks really good. And this has full rotation, which the original Superstar Wars did not have. I like the pose that Han Solo has on in this game. He leans more on his knees.
Character sprites in general look way better. Like
Oh
Luke's
man,
sprite is awesome in
awesome.
this, and it's just Wicket kind of sucks, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
what can you do?
all the characters really do look awesome in this, though.
Yeah.
They're much better.
If the game was just a tad bit more balanced,
Yeah, like I feel like they're like 90% there.
yeah,
There's just
absolutely.
if they could have finally improved the slowdown issue, if they tweaked the game and like polished up some of the sections a little more, this would have been like really top tier. But
Oh, it's
even as
Corey.
is, it's still great. Oh, it's Corey.
Good to see you,
Welcome,
Corey.
Corey. I don't know if Corey cares about the letters being filled or not.
He probably does. Corey and I
Sure
have been
does.
talking a lot about doing movie related stuff
Oh yeah,
because we love cinema. Yeah, I mean, you do as
I
well.
know. I'm not quite the expert that you
Yeah,
are.
but
I
we have
admit,
some ideas with you and I too watching some stuff. So we'll get to that.
for sure.
So, and we have done things because we did the official commentary on the Street Fighter Blu-ray, so
Which was extremely enjoyable.
which was a lifelong dream for me. So
Yeah. Oh man, look at that.
yeah, and this
Yeah.
harkens back to the land speeder, the land speeder, the snow crawler. No, not the snow crawler, the sand crawler.
The sand crawler. Yes. And then this again, yeah.
It is, Revenant says it is a shame that the FX2 chip was only starting to be used to augment 2D games at the end of SNES Live. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
FX chips could have helped these games, I suppose.
SA1 as well, honestly. It's basically they were both similarly powerful and useful, I think, for 2D games.
This was a 16 meg cart though.
So yeah, I think part of the problem is also I wonder if this is fast or slow ROM because
Oh
like
yeah,
a lot of companies got really cheap with their SNES carts. They'd use like the slow ROM and like as small as they could, and that actually had an impact on the overall performance.
right.
So
I love. You see, there's a slight like spotlight effect
oh
on the
yeah,
picture.
exactly. I like that too.
Oh yeah, these actual ports that came
Oh,
out.
and Corey mentions that E3 thing. We got to do that.
Absolutely, we have a lot of things we need to do with I'm out
There's,
gaming.
yeah, there's so much to do. Oh,
But it's
but
all
hey,
fun. It's all
it's all
fun.
fun. Look at it. It's interesting to see these side by side. I thought they're very
Yeah,
close.
they're very close. Yeah.
The Game Boy art is surprisingly all right given
Yeah.
like what they're trying to do there. But I do like the Game Gear look there better.
I don't know.
I like them
There's
both.
something about the Game Boy. Yeah. For example, here I think when you actually see this on a Game Boy screen, it kind of hides the
Oh,
Rancor's leg.
I would say the same on Game Gear. The original Game Gear screen. Like if you look at like MK1 on that thing, remember that?
Yeah, true.
It looks incredible, but when you look at it in an emulator, it's like, oh.
Yeah. You are right about that.
Oh yeah.
I got to the end.
It's rich. It's rich.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. The finale. Oh yeah. Little scan line mode 7 up close. Ooh.
Then you slide out. Did you just use the zoom effect there, or did you actually use the slider?
I don't remember. No, I think that was a zoom effect.
Okay.
I didn't. I had the slider out for this episode, but I don't think I used it on the CRT. this time. I've done that before. Remember the Turrican trailer?
Oh, how could I ever forget?
Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, I guess that's what you can call it.
I have some ideas for CRT shots I want to do in the future, though. I need
Yeah,
to.
they're fun.
Yeah,
They add a lot. They're simple to do, and they add a lot to the like. They're
yeah.
such
It's
perfect
fun to
transitions.
exactly. I love it too. And this game, I don't love this game, but it does
No,
look awesome.
this should have been a Castlevania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're trying, but this biplane section is awesome though.
And then of course we had to. I mean, yeah. Super Star Wars is essentially like a prequel to Shadows of the Empire.
Yep.
I mean, it really is.
And you did an episode on that.
That's why I had that slider shot.
Yeah.
I pulled that from my B-roll. I think I pulled a lot of this from that episode because I was like, I'm not going to replay it just for
No,
this.
don't
And
need.
I do like this game. I'm a
Same.
fan.
Love it.
I managed to get that clean ride there on the bike through there.
Which
That's
is
hard.
not easy.
That's hard. That's not easy.
Yeah, look at this. It's this exact same. I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. The side by side. This is so cool to see.
and it holds up, which is incredible to think.
Man, they're so. Oh, it's wild. The similarity there. Jordan, you ain't kidding, buddy. That Indiana Jones game, it does have some frustrating levels. Oh
They-
yeah,
they
I had to
game.
show this. This is Star Wars trilogy. I used Supermodel, the emulator for it, so there's a few visual glitches I think, but
Oh,
it's close enough. It's the best I can do. I can't just go capture this.
I remember playing this at the local movie rental place many
Yeah,
times.
I used to like it too.
Yeah, I like the what you use the stick to control the lightsaber, which I really enjoyed.
There we go. Sort of reminiscing about what we just saw.
Yeah. These
Wrap it
outros are
up.
fun.
Yeah.
I tend to write them these days. Well, we always write together, but I always kind of like doing this reflective.
Mhm.
I call them the Jerry Springer endings, where Jerry Springer used to sit down. It's like last words or something like that. It's been many years since I watched Jerry Springer, but he always used to sit on a chair and be like, "What is love? Well, love is something we all feel for each other," and then walk off stage. So
Yes.
this is our Jerry Springer moments.
Hmm. I think for the episode that we're just finishing now, that wasn't. So I think I wrote most of the first half or so, and then you kind of wrote the back stuff.
Yes.
Which you had more experience with, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it worked great. This was more my baby, the one we did for this month, which I guess we'll do a preview of very soon.
Yes.
It's a topic that I know you love talking about. So
Yeah.
it was really fun to write that one too with you, because it's like I could write about the things I knew, but I fully trusted that everything else would be perfect, and it has been. So
yeah, it worked out pretty well.
These episodes have been very fun to make.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Most people remember PS1 games looking like PS2 and PS2 looking like PS3 and so forth. I don't know. I tend to associate the eras with their era.
I actually tend to think it's the opposite. You often see people look at like a new game that looks like a PS1 game.
Wow.
It's like, okay.
We don't listen to those people.
They don't remember,
regardless of what language they speak.
Yes, exactly. It's usually,
Yes.
So, oh yeah, the wrap up.
Oh, yeah, it's weird seeing you side by side on screen, because
I know
you've had a haircut.
I know.
This though,
here we go, the outro. Oh yeah, I went with this for some reason.
Oh, you mean, yeah, I could have probably made an actual Star Wars, but we were running out of time. And this works fine. So
yeah,
music in there, and then I think there is a.
Oh yeah, the ending. We got to watch that again.
Yes.
You surprised
Hi,
me with
Rick.
this part.
Oh,
Yes.
you. What do
You did not know
want?
about this.
Well,
I have the
we
I have the
just
sound
did that
on.
DF Retro on
No,
Super
this
Star
one.
Wars, and I've been feeling pretty strong with the Force lately. So I figured I would try to Force choke you and take you out finally.
Are you done?
Yeah, it's just like my wedding night all over again.
Good.
I guess I still have a lot to learn about the Force, huh, Rich?
You have failed me for the last time.
Rich!
Oh man, I love that.
Making Rich do things I know he doesn't want to do is my favorite part of this job. Though he seems to take a lot of satisfaction in this part.
Yeah, that one was excellent.
Another thing to mention about that ending was that, of course, we had a little mention to Nair in there because
Oh yeah,
we did, of course, lose him during this production, and or
yeah, that
they,
was that
them,
was really sad.
and we did, I believe, didn't we use Beast Nest for something here?
Mhm.
So yeah, they
Yeah,
what a great loss. They will be
that
missed.
really. We definitely use it in the next episode.
We did.
And yeah, well, there's a
So
lot. It's really a shame.
that was a lot to unpack for us at the end because we both had contact with Near, and they have been really great to us over the
Oh
years.
yeah,
Just generally with info. I know for the SNES Classic episode, they really helped you because you were doing a lot of comparison with Beast NES or Egon and the SNES Classic and
oh, they
things like that.
challenged me to find a bug
Yeah,
and their emulator, and I did.
you did.
And they offered me a reward, and I was like, "No, it's all good. You're awesome at this." So,
Amazing generosity, and
so that was fun.
it's such a loss to the community and to emulation. So we had to put a
Absolutely.
little mod in there, and we wanted to do more, but it's just like um, it came at the very end of the episode. I think
Yeah, I did.
you
It
know
was right at the
maybe a
end,
day before
exactly.
we finished, and we were just like, in the future we'll probably highlight a little bit
Exactly.
more of their work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I
So before we
guess
move on to the hint, though, John, I need to ask
yeah,
so general thoughts here. We haven't watched this since it came out.
that's
Rewatching
true.
these, very interesting. What's your feeling on Super Star Wars Episode 60?
Yeah, I'm happy that we did this one. It was a little different, I think, than some of the other ones, and it was fun to go back and revisit these. And I feel like there was some cool stuff to show, especially with that PC version.
Yes.
You know, it revealed things about it I didn't really know,
Mm.
and also like going back to the old history was always fun. And you know what I really liked about working on this was just like for that period while we worked on this project, I was just immersed in Star Wars stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I was listening to the music. I rewatched the first film, just the special edition, uh, you know, because that's what I had on Blu-ray. And you know, it was just generally playing other Star Wars games as well during this, including Super Star Wars, and just like really getting into it. And I was like, man, this is awesome. So seeing this again, I'm really happy we did it, and I feel like it's a pretty fun episode. It's not.
I
It's a
love it.
very different flow than the PlayStation one because it's like more focused on a smaller topic.
Yeah. But I
Um,
think it still transitions well into the smaller episodes because it's still an hour. It still takes on a lot of history. And I mean, this was one of the things, again, where it's like, hey, we're going to start working together officially on these. And what makes that different though? Or is it just more DF retro, or will the episodes be different? And I think what's happened is kind of we have a lot more time for history, and that's my favorite thing to write about. So it's like it's so fun to put everything into context because it can very
exactly.
easily just kind of throw a game on screen and say, well, this is awesome, but like, why is it awesome? What was going on at the time? And with Star Wars especially, it's like, what's
It's
going on with
important.
Star Wars
Yeah, it
at
was a
this time?
crazy time. Exactly.
So I think this, not to tout our own horns here, but this might be, so far at least, until someone else does a better video, I'd say that this probably is the best Super Star Wars video you'll see on YouTube for a while. just because it's very complete.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that.
Yep.
But yeah, shall we run the preview?
I'm ready.
Up to
Are the
all right,
fans in the
guys.
chat ready?
So everybody in the chat, this is
Let's give 2 minutes. I want to put in the chat, not in the YouTube chat, but on the server. I'm gonna say we're about to show. We are about to show.
the first section of the next episode. So yeah, get
Next.
ready.
So we'll give them 2 minutes to jump in.
Exactly. Ooh. I can hear that keyboard going.
Oh, you know it.
And I apologize for making CRTs more expensive. That's
We also, I learned through some of our users, we have also made Flipnik more expensive. Apparently, the eBay prices went up after our video, and
like all the cheap copies sold out. They're all gone, and
Yeah.
now all that's left is expensive ones. And now that messed up the price, I think.
Yeah, this is something we never really want to happen, obviously. But for the DF Retroplay we put out publicly was the Flipnik, and I expected that to kind of be kind of like an episode for specifically interested. But we've all been kind of surprised by the amount of comments and feedback on that episode. There seems to be something special about Flipnik because a lot of people have come in and said like they really loved that DF Retroplay, and us kind of emotionally getting invested in it.
It's a
So
special game.
it's a very special game, but I did not expect that feedback. I expected a lot of people just kind of be like, "Who cares about pinball?" But we were completely wrong on that, and that's fun. The DF Retro plays have been very fun to do.
Yeah.
There's a new one this week on the Patreon if you haven't seen, which is really cool.
N64 Futuristic Racers.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
So let's see. Yeah, I see some people excited in the chat there.
Yeah, Flipnik is difficult for sure, but there's something about it that keeps you playing. It's not so difficult as that you can't like have fun and relax with it. But yeah, it's what a game. I love Flipnik.
Yeah, it is difficult, but at the same time, it has a curve that I think is overcomable for basically everyone.
Once you get to that icy waterfall, though, my goodness,
it's amazing. Oh yeah, let's see some guesses in the chat. What do you guess the next episode will be? Let's see if anyone hits it in the next 1 minute.
We will neither confirm nor deny.
No, but
let's hear your guesses.
All of you put a guess in. And it's not Bubsy because we already did that.
Yeah, you're just swatting that down. It's not Bubsy. Yeah. We already did Bubsy. It's not Bubsy this time. It's not Alfred Chicken. All right.
No, it will never be. So
it's not Shacky the Wolf.
Every day on my Twitter, I get CDI and Bubsy tweets. Every single day.
We actually should do a DF retro play of Shacky the Wolf.
I would love to. I'm trying to locate a good copy of it.
Yes.
Oh, someone remembers the clue. I did put a clue out there, 2000 AD. It is not Judge Dredd, but that clue is relevant. Oh man, we're getting a lot of guesses. I love this. Cool spot. No.
Aladdin.
I ain't touching anything.
That could be cool, man. These King of Fighters, F-Zero, all these kind of some pretty good ones.
Yeah. King of Fighters. I'd love to do a big King of 3D. Fighters one day. Balls 3D.
I would be all the way into.
Yes.
If we did Balls, I mean that would mean there's a 3DO version.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a lot.
Street Fighter 2000. I would love to do something with that game. I don't think we could do its own. I think that would be a DF retro play, but I would have to practice. But I actually really enjoy Street Fighter 2010.
I agree. Yeah, 2010. Heavy Metal Fact 2. I bought that the day it came out.
And I absolutely love it. Metal Gear Solid 4. We will never play. Well, I will never play. I won't be on that episode.
Yeah, but that would be an interesting what the heck went wrong kind of episode.
Isn't there a YouTuber that does that already though?
Maybe. You're right. All right, should we run this?
Yeah, are you guys ready?
You guys ready? Here we go. So, hopefully this is interesting. Let's give it a shot. So, journey back to the year 1990. The Super Famicom arrives in Japan along with two brand new games. The first, Super Mario World, the next installment in the already very popular Mario series. But the second, the future of Formula One, F-Zero. Delivering a real 3D perspective at a blazing fast 60 frames per second, F-Zero is an impressive visual showcase for the new 16-bit machine, and it served as one of the first games developed entirely in-house by EAD. It was a huge success, and that success ultimately led to the creation of multiple sequels across 3 generations of consoles, a showcase for its next generation handheld machine, and even an animated series before unceremoniously disappearing, relegated exclusively to appearances in other Nintendo games. But those that have played it know that F-Zero deserves its place in Nintendo's pantheon. This series delivers streamlined, arcade-style racing with a sense of speed and style, unlike most anything else in their stable. And on this episode of DF Retro, we'll explore the series in its entirety. From its original 16-bit outing, its appearance on the Satellaview and 64DD add-ons, all the way to the stunning F-Zero GX and AX created thanks to a partnership between Sega and Nintendo. Along the way, we'll discuss the series' history, the impact it's had on players, and of course the technology behind each game. We'll also check out numerous homebrew releases and look at the best way to enjoy F-Zero on modern machines today. All this and more is coming up on this episode of DF Retro. There we go. So that's what we're doing. And that's even the week-old version of that first part, actually, because I've made some improvements. But yeah, that's where we're at.
Should note that in the chat, Josh Bossy got it right.
That's right. Josh got it right. That's awesome. Well done.
So,
and
I'm curious how you got it right. Did you just guess that, or did you put all the clues together?
Yeah, because that was kind of the thing, right? As Angry Ghost points out, the N64 Futuristic Racers episode was a pretty strong hint. And 2000 AD, well,
it's in the video.
It's in the video. I will say though, the only thing I could, that was you saw a little bit, but there's a lot more Unreal Engine stuff in the full episode. I use it to do all the green screen backgrounds and a few other cool shots. So, but the episode, I actually have it open in Premiere right now. I'm editing it. I have 43 minutes edited, and the video is going to be. No.
Did you delete the entire project?
No, my monitor blanked out, but it's back. It's going to be about an hour and 10 minutes or so. So that's what it's looking like. And
it seems to be the new running time now. It's just 1 hour.
But the only caution, as I said in the chat, so the Ascent came out, and then the Halo Infinite stuff came out, and Rich is like, "Well, you got to do that stuff, dude." Especially because it's limited. So. And I've had a guest here as well, and I wasn't feeling great last week, and it's just all these things kind of stacked up. So I think this is going to be 2 days late, maybe 2 or 3 days, something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll probably show up for everybody like in the middle of next week instead of on Sunday, just because I'm running a little bit behind.
That's
But
what the Patreon is for, though. Flexibility
exactly.
and early access, So sometimes it will be a few days late. That's why also we got this stream today. You got a full episode with us talking over it. And got
Exactly.
a 3-part game on the Retro Play. Not just one,
Ooh,
not just two,
exactly.
but 3 games.
Yeah, so
It's been a pretty packed week. And this week on the Patreon alone, basically, DF Retro Play, this live stream, DF Retro, and then next week we are attempting to get our dear special guests together for a special stream. So
yes, that's right.
where is your guest anyway right now?
He is downtown doing something. So, and I'm here behind, so
that's fine.
Yeah, so that stuff's all coming soon. It's going to be right now so every game gets a full section. So there's, nothing skipped. For F-Zero, every F-Zero game is covered. We talk about all the add-on stuff, like the Satellaview stuff, the 64DD stuff, the F-Zero expansion pack,
the
anime, of course, the homebrew stuff, some of the ways to play it on emulators today. That looks awesome.
We look at all like the references, that F-Zero gets in the modern age. We look at some of the games that exist today as an alternative. I mean, it's a pretty complete video. Again, it's one of those where I feel like if it's not the definitive, it's a part of the definitive list of videos on the subject.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I mean, has there ever been a video that says John Lemon more than an F-Zero video? The 2 first games are like the the poster childs for early 60 frames per second gameplay
stuff.
And mode 7 60 frames per second racing. That just
that's the realization I had, was that every game in the series is 60 frames per second. They never made an exception, which is not the case for a lot of other things, like Mario Kart, for instance. That's not always 60 frames per second.
No,
it often is, but there's installments that are not, including the GBA one, which was kind of surprising.
The GBA ones were for us both a bit of a surprise. We'll talk about that when we do the commentary stream for that.
For F-Zero, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So
those are interesting for sure. But yeah, and the anime is interesting. So I watched the first 2 episodes, and it kind of started off pretty strong, but feels like it just doesn't go anywhere. It
started up very strong. The viewership started off strong, and then it meanders into nothing and becomes the weirdest plot twists I've ever seen. And so that failed pretty hard, unfortunately. And in the US, you got 15 episodes out of 52.
Yeah, it's not great.
So not much. So and we do theorize a little bit about what happened to F-Zero in the script. And I'm very happy with this video so far. I look forward to us finishing it.
Yep. I can't wait.
And then, of course, next month, which is another... We're not going to say anything about that, but that's all you picking that, and I'm excited. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, should be good too. But all right. Well, anyway, anything else we should discuss before we hop off?
Yeah, let me go get my friend to say goodbye, and then we'll hop off. So...
what's this about?
Let's see here. Someone sent me something very nice in the mail, and I need to show it off here. It is...
Whoa, you get Mr. Nuts.
Mr. Nuts plushie.
In the plush.
Mr.
Nuts in the plush.
Couldn't quite believe when I unwrapped this and saw what it was. It was made by the folks at YO Records, a French company, and they put out that ActRacer double CD they put out the Little Big Planet Symphonic, which I have right here.
Wait, Little Big Adventure, yeah.
Little Big Adventure, Little Big Planet.
Different game.
So yeah, good company, and thanks so much. I guess I now need to get the Alfred Chicken plushie
You should.
just for the
Well,
collection.
We got the annoying thing here.
Yes, you have that.
Thinking of that, we've got to find a way to bring back what's in the box, Rich.
Oh, I have ideas, but yeah, just it's a matter of time. It's also a little bit a matter of just schedule. These days, Rich is very busy, and I don't want to like get bog him down with boxes coming in this door and stuff. So
Yeah, that's true.
after summer, I'm sure there will be some boxes. There are some boxes already, but I will have them sent to him.
Exactly. But anyway, I think that's going to do it for this stream. So thanks to everybody for joining us again.
Yeah.
I still enjoy these nice, quiet, private streams. It's always
Absolutely.
fun. So it's a nice way to finish off the week, relax a little bit. And then, yeah, I'm going to finish up this F-Zero video while also doing stuff with Halo, I guess, because, I was playing that today. It's pretty good. So
I mean, you love Halo, so
I do.
Sure you're not
I
complaining.
absolutely. I love Halo, absolutely. So
yeah.
all right, but anyway, that'll do